You have your one for next week? Your thumb drive? Do you have the one for next week? You know, oh,
Okay, I would like to welcome everyone to the Henry County Zoning Board meeting of Thursday, March 9th, 2017. This meeting is being televised live on Charter Channel 180 and AT&T UVerse Channel 99, and will rebroadcast every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. and every Saturday at 12:30 p.m. and is available by video on demand on the county website. Now would be a good time to turn off the cell phones or anything that makes noise, laptops or whatever. If you're speaking tonight and you need to fill out a public hearing speaker card, we allot 10 minutes for those to speak in favor of a case and 10 minutes for those to speak in opposition of a case. For example, if 10 people wish to speak, they all share the 10-minute slot and so forth. Please address the board and not the audience when you come to speak. Those applicants presenting their case are counted as those in speaking in favor of the case and share that 10-minute slot. At this time, we're going to have the invocation and pledge. Mr. Risher will now lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Father in heaven, please guide our deliberations tonight to do what is fair and just and in the best interest of the citizens and officials of our county. Amen.
Amen.
This meeting is now called to order. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to include the minutes of January 12th and 19th.
Okay, I have a motion to amend the agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Nunley. Any discussion? All those in favor of amending the agenda, raise your hand. All right, motion carried. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of January 12th and January 19th?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes for January 12th and 19th.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the minutes by Mr. Nelson of January the 19th and January the 12th. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Mr. Bailey. Any discussion? All those in favor indicating by raising your hand. Motion carried. Okay, are there any staff comments at this time?
Chair, no comment at this time.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and go with the agenda items then, and so if the staff will call the first case.
Case number AMP-ORD-17-01, the City of Hampton proposes an amendment to Chapter 67 of the City of Hampton Code of Ordinances, which provides for zoning to create a new code section entitled Parking Overlay District, to provide for severability, to repeal conflicting ordinances, to provide an effective date, and for other purposes. This is pertinent to the City of Hampton and will be presented by Mr. Stacy Jordan Rudisill, Chief Planner.
Good evening, Madam Chair.
Good evening.
The ordinance before you tonight is an ordinance within the City of Hampton to designate 2 areas within the city limits as the Downtown Parking Overlay District. And the gist of the ordinance is to eliminate typical parking requirements for these areas And you'll notice that the first area is to the east of the downtown strip on East Main Street between Elm Street and James Street. And then the second area is to the east of East Main Street between Magnolia Park and Rosenwald. And it's a simple ordinance, and I'd be pleased to answer any questions.
Okay, do any of the board members have any questions for staff?
Wait a minute, I just got a couple.
Okay, Mr. Bailey?
Stacy, these areas are zoned commercial, right? Just, I'm pretty sure
As far
they
as
are.
I'm aware, they are zoned as far as I'm aware, they are zoned non-residential. There may be some residentially zoned parcels in there. The ordinance itself is not specific to any particular zone. It simply eliminates parking requirements, whether they're residential or otherwise.
There are certain areas already in Hampton that are covered by this requirement, aren't there? The businesses on East Main.
The businesses that actually front on East Main Street are already in the historic overlay, and they're not included in this parking overlay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, anyone else have any questions for staff? Okay, so at this time, we're gonna ask if there's anyone who wants to come up and speak in favor of the text amendments? Or amendment. This is one amendment. Okay, and don't see anyone come up, anyone want to speak in opposition of the text amendment? Okay, so we need to go ahead and have a motion for this. Oh, do we need to call the case? Sorry.
Case number HAMP-ORD-17-01. The City of Hampton proposes an amendment to Chapter 67 of the City of Hampton Code of Ordinances, which provides for zoning to create a new code, section entitled Parking Overlay District, to provide for severability, to repeal conflicting ordinances, to provide an effective date, and for other purposes. This is regarding the City of Hampton. It was presented by Mr. Stacy Jordan Rootsil, Chief Planner.
Now we need a motion for this case.
Right.
Mr. Bailey.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve HAMP-ORD-17-01, the amendment to Chapter 67 for the purpose of regulating downtown parking.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Bailey to approve the text amendment. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who was the second? I'm sorry. And Mr. Lundley is the second. Any discussion? All those in favor indicating by raising your hand. Okay, the motion carried. Okay, next case.
Case number CU-16-03, Skyway Towers LLC of Tampa, Florida, requests a conditional use for property located at 701 Elliott Road in land lot 57 of the 7th District. The property consists of 10 acres, 10 plus or minus acres, and the request is for a new wireless communications facility. This is located in Commission District 3 and will be presented by the County Attorney, Mr. Patrick Jogstetter.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. As you will recall, last spring, the Board of Commissioners heard and denied an application for conditional use permit for a cell tower from Skyways. That resulted in a lawsuit filed in federal court. And the federal judge in the United States District Court for the Northern District of Georgia has entered an order requiring us to issue the conditional use permit. The reason for that is really fairly simple. The denial did not comply with the requirements of the Federal Telecommunications Act. We call that the TCA. And as I've explained to you, the TCA is very accommodating to cell towers and less so accommodating to the regulation of cell towers. It requires, in order to support a denial of a cell tower, that evidence be presented in this forum sufficient to justify a denial. And if you will recall, the only evidence presented was the staff report and the engineering reports provided by the applicant, both of which supported granting the application. The board voted to deny the application in large part upon response of public comment, which is traditionally not viewed as evidence. And there was, in fact, no real evidence presented during the public comment, but simply concerns of the residents. And while those are certainly valid concerns, they don't satisfy the requirements of the Telecommunications Act. You've already conducted your public hearing. There's no requirement to conduct a new public hearing. And I would recommend, in fact, I would urge you to go ahead and approve the conditional use permit tonight so we can close this chapter and move on to something better. And
Okay.
I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, any questions from board members, for Patrick? Mr. Nunnally?
Can you emphasize the fact that, did you not say that we did deny this at one point
It was denied when it was heard originally back in.
and had to go to
May or
court
June.
on the county level?
It
and-
went to federal court.
It
Didn't
went
go
to
to court.
federal court.
That's right. It was, the Telecommunications Act is a federal law, not a state law, and those actions are traditionally brought in federal court.
And you are urging us to approve this?
You really have to. You're under order to do so.
Okay,
The district judge has ordered you to do so.
perfect. No worries, okay. I just wanted you to emphasize that for
Yes, sir.
understanding.
Anyone else have any questions for the attorney? Okay, do I bring the applicant up to see if there's any questions, or do we just go ahead and call for the vote? No applicant? Okay, just call the case. All right, so you want to go ahead and read the case?
Case number CU-16-03, Skyway Towers LLC of Tampa, Florida, requesting conditional use for property located at 701 Elliott Road in land lot 57, the 7th District. The property consists of 10 plus or minus acres, and the request is for a new wireless communications facility. It's located in Commission District 3 and was presented by the county attorney, Mr. Patrick Jogstetter.
Okay, do I have a motion for this case?
I have motion to approve this. According to the county and also the county, a motion to staff.
Okay, I have a motion for approval by Mr. Nunley. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second by Mr. Risher. Any discussion? All those in favor indicating by raising your hand. All right, motion carried. Next case, please. Thank you.
Case number VR-17-03, Anil Damani of Atlanta, Georgia, requests a variance from development standards for the property located at 4475 Walt Stevens Road in land lot 27 of the 12th District. The property consists of 0.741 plus or minus acres, and the request is regarding a gas station. It is located in Commission District 5 and will be presented by Ms. Julie Yoder, Planner 1.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Good evening, Board. The variance before you this evening is for the property located at 4475 Walt Stevens Road, which is hatched in green on the map. Presently, it's a gas station and an emissions test facility. Listed on the overhead are the 7 variances being requested tonight. Staff recommendation is based upon the assessment of each individual variance requested by the applicant meeting the criteria required for a variance to be approved. And therefore, planning staff recommends denial of the applicant's requested variances. However, in the course of evaluating this case, staff found that the primary structure sits too close to the side property line at no fault of the applicant. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the reduction in side yard setback from 25 to 10 feet, which is the last variance listed. And I'd be happy to take any questions now if you have any.
Okay, are there any questions for staff from board members?
No, it is something.
Okay, anyone else have any questions for staff? Okay, would ask the applicant to please come forward. And state your name and address for the record.
My name is Alamin Sayani, address 4161 Secret Shoals Way, Buford, Georgia.
Okay, did you have any additional comments you would like to add from staff's comments?
No, ma'am, not at this time.
Okay. Do any board members have any questions for the applicant?
Now, I do have one question, and that is, now, what's the overall purpose of your request?
The overall, I can let Stephen answer, actually. He's the...
My name's Stephen Barge. I'm with D&D Energy Group. We're the fuel jobber for the gas station.
Okay.
We're just, the station's been purchased by them, and we're just trying to bring it up to Sunoco imaging standards and just make the place look better. Right now, it is worn down. It has been tattered and seen better days, and we're just trying to get it to where it brings new life to that street corner.
Okay.
Any other questions for the applicant from board members? All right, you may be seated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we're going to allow 10 minutes for those who want to speak in favor of the case, for the remaining 10 minutes, which is 8 minutes and 51 seconds. Okay, I don't see anyone coming up. Then we'll allow 10 minutes for those who want to speak in opposition of the case. Okay, do any of the board members have any further questions for the applicant or staff? If not, we will,
I have one question for staff.
Okay.
Now, do we have two separate requests here?
What do you mean exactly?
He's asking for, you're saying that the reduction of the frontage is not due to their,
The side yard, correct. The building was built in 2001, I believe.
okay,
For whatever reason, I don't think we had supplemental standards for gas stations at that time.
Okay.
And the 25-foot setback was created in 2009 when we
Okay.
passed our current code, so.
so they're within that 25 feet setback?
No, they're only 10 feet away.
Oh, okay.
So staff initiated that variance so that they would be in compliance now.
Okay, all right, thank you.
okay. Any other questions for staff? All right, and if we could call the case?
Case number VR-17-03, Anil Damani of Atlanta, Georgia, requests a variance from development standards for a property located at 4475 Walt Stevens Road in land lot 27 of the 12th District. The property consists of 0.741 plus or minus acres, and the request is regarding a gas station. It's located in Commission District 5 and was presented by Ms. Julie Yoder, Planner 1.
Okay, do I have a motion for this case?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to follow staff recommendation in terms of denying the request for the variance increase on the number of wall signs and approve the reduction in setback.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Nelson. Do I have a second?
Second.
And I have a second by Mr. Risher. Any discussion? All those in favor indicating by raising your hand. Okay, Mr. Risher, I didn't see, all those in favor raise your hand. Okay, I want to make sure I see everybody. And any opposed? Okay, it looked like everyone was voting for the motion. Okay, so motion carried. I'm doing this up here, trying to see everybody. All right, next case, please.
Case number VR-17-04, Fairview Urgent Care LLC of Williamsville, New York, requests a variance from development regulations for property located at 4475 West Village Parkway in land lot 198 of the 12th District. The property consists of 1 plus or minus acres, and the request is for an additional wall sign. It's located in Commission District 5 and will be presented by Mr. Stacy Jordan Rudisill, Chief Planner.
Good evening, Madam Chair.
Good evening.
The item before you tonight is located at the intersection of Fairview Road and West Village Parkway, which you may also know as the relocated West Panola Road. So it's at the very corner. The county sign ordinance, as well as the Fairview Road Overlay District, requires for multi-business buildings such as this subject property to be allowed to have a permitted one wall sign for each business. The applicant before you tonight is asking for a variance to allow a second wall sign. You'll notice in your staff report on page 2, toward the bottom, it says, variance may be granted upon a finding by the Zoning Advisory Board that all of the following criteria have been met, and they're listed. Staff has not found that these criteria have been met, and so we're recommending denial of the applicant's request.
Okay, thank you, Stacy. Any questions for staff at this time from the board members?
Stacy, now, what part of it that they did not meet, the request?
Right, so the variance request is regarding the number of wall signs. So this building is currently planned to have 2 businesses. So each one of those 2 businesses can have 1 wall sign. On the corner, that tenant space is requesting to have a second wall sign that can be seen from the other roadway. And so the request is to have a variance in order to allow a second wall sign for that one particular tenant space when only one is able to be permitted per the ordinance.
This sounds similar to something that we had here a while back. Now, can they have signs on the building, on each side of the building itself?
The ordinance simply regulates the number of wall signs. It doesn't say where.
Oh, okay.
So they could have a sign on that side if they like, but that would be the only sign for that particular business.
Okay. Okay.
For some additional clarification, this property is located in the Fairview Road Overlay District, and the Overlay District ordinance takes precedence over the underlying zoning district. So there's just no provision in that overlay district. There could have been, but there isn't. And so that's why the variance was needed.
So primarily it falls under the overlay.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions, Mr. Risher, for staff?
Well, could the second sign, instead of being a wall sign, could it be a ground sign or some other type of sign?
The ground sign may be permitted in addition to these wall signs.
Any other questions for staff? All right, if I can ask the applicant to please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Michael Norton. I'm with Denice Companies, 4050 Scenic View Drive, Cumming, Georgia. Wanted to thank Stacy. I think he explained everything appropriately. The only thing I would add was that the tenant that we have, the Fairview Urgent Care, has an additional occupation in there, or additional business that says Focus Occupational Medicine. So there's kind of two tenants in the one building. The building is for two tenant spaces, but we're just addressing the one building, or the one space for that building. And what they're asking for is application for a sign permit for Fairview Urgent Care, but they want the second sign on the side entrance to display for prospect traffic, Fairview Urgent Care and Focus Occupational Medicine. So we're just asking for consideration for a second sign that faces the other road.
Okay,
And consideration of two, I don't want to say two tenants, but it's a shared space.
Okay, any questions for applicant from board members? Okay, all right, you may be seated. At this time, we're going to call those who want to speak in, the remainder to speak in favor of the case. Okay, don't see anyone coming up. Any of those want to come and speak in opposition of the case? Okay, are there any additional questions for staff or the applicant from board members? Not, we'll call for the vote.
Case number VR-17-04, Fairview Urgent Care LLC of Williamsville, New York, requests a variance from development regulations for property located at 4475 West Village Parkway in land lot 198 of the 12th District. The property consists of 1 ± acres, and the request is for an additional wall sign. The property is located in Commission District 5 and was presented by Mr. Stacy Jordan Rudisill.
Okay, do I have a motion for this case?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to deny the case based on staff recommendation and the guidelines of the overlay district.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Nelson for denial. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Mr. Risher. Any discussion? All those in favor indicating by raising your hand. Okay, I saw it, everybody, this time. All right, motion carried. Next case, please.
Case number VR-17-01, Tabitha Lyle of McDonough, Georgia, requests a variance from development standards for property located at 850 South Ola Road in land lot 208 of the 7th District. The property consists of 6.22 ± acres, and the request is to allow 2 single-family dwellings. The property is located in Commission District 1 and will be presented by Ms. Julie Yoder, Planner 1.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Good evening, Board. The variance before you this evening is for the property located at 850 South Ola Road, which is hatched in green on the map. The variance request is to reduce the road frontage requirement from 60 feet to 48 feet for Tract A, which I'll show. And also to reduce the lot width requirement from 175 feet to 156.91 feet for Tract B. So this lot and this frontage. The property can be developed as a single-family dwelling unit as is with just one home. However, it's the applicant's intention to build 2 homes, thus the need for this variance. Therefore, staff recommends denial of the requested variances, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Do any board members have any questions for staff at this time? No questions? All right. If we can ask the applicant to please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Hello, my name is Tabitha Lyle. My address is 100 Ducati Drive in McDonough.
Okay, do you have anything you want to add to staff's comments?
No, basically, my sister and I both would like to build on the land, just two residential homes.
Okay. Any questions from board members for the applicant? Okay, they don't have any, oh, I'm sorry. This is district, District 1, excuse me, yes. I'm sitting there reading the names. It's Johnny Wilson's District 1. Okay, yes, Mr. Risher.
Yes, I have a question for the staff. It's, well, a question and perhaps a suggestion. If this could be left as one parcel, in other words, not divided this way, but could and you could put a primary residence, on the house, but through the conditional use process, could the second dwelling be what we call a guest quarters residence?
You could build a cottage or what would be called an in-law suite, something like that, along with a primary residence without subdividing the property. That's correct.
Technically, we would call that an accessory dwelling.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Technically, we would call that an accessory dwelling.
Accessory dwelling, okay. Okay, but would that require them coming back for a conditional use?
No,
No,
it's
sir.
permitted per our code.
Okay. Well, that might be a possible solution to the issue.
Basically, he's asking what staff do in order to make this action recommended approval versus the recommended denial.
An accessory dwelling wouldn't have to come to the zoning advisory board, so there wouldn't be a recommendation regarding that. It would simply be a submittal and rendering to our building department, showing the proper dimensions, meeting the code requirements for setbacks, for percentage of the single-family dwelling, the primary dwelling.
Understandable, staff.
What these variances pertain to is the division of the property rather than
That's correct.
its use.
You understand that?
No, I
Yep.
didn't. I couldn't hear what he said.
Repeat that. Staff, can you repeat that? You can explain it better than I can.
I'm sorry, what I just said, or what did Mr., okay.
Just for the applicant to understand.
Basically, an option outside of the variance process is an accessory dwelling. What that is, it's an accessory to the primary in that it can be constructed to serve as a dwelling unit, and in most cases, you have an additional parking space. You have to meet the building code requirements for plumbing, for electrical, and in proximity to where it is situated to your primary dwelling. So we can walk you through that process. You can come in and see us, but there's no requirement to come to the zoning advisory board for that. It would just simply be meeting the building department code requirements.
Would that require me to build both properties?
That
or
actually
could it be-
require you to work closer with staff.
Okay.
They'll be able to understand.
Okay.
They'll be able to explain it to you better and walk you through the whole process.
Okay.
Which I completely recommend, Mr. Gibbs.
Okay,
Thank
any other questions for the applicant from the board members? Okay, you may be seated.
Thank you.
For those who want to speak in remainder of the case, please come forward. Okay, and for those who want to speak in opposition of this case, please come forward. Okay, and I'd like to ask if the board has any further questions for the applicant or staff. If not, if we could please call the case.
VR-17-01, Tabitha Lyle of McDonough, Georgia, requests a variance from development standards for the property located at 850 South Fellow Road in land lot 208 of the 7th District. The property consists of 6.22 plus or minus acres, and the request is to allow 2 single-family dwellings. It is located in Commission District 1 and was presented by Ms. Julie Yoder, Planner 1.
Okay, do I have a motion for this case?
I'd like to make a motion that VR-17-01 be denied under the recommendation of the planning committee, and I believe Mr. Gibbs said we need to put a notation in there about, to the building.
No notation is needed. It's permitted by code. They just have to
Okay.
come in and see us.
All right.
Okay, I have a motion, and do I have a second? By Mr. Fretwell, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Nunley. Any discussion? All those in favor indicating by raising their hand. Any opposed? Okay. Motion carried. That is all of our cases for this evening. And I need a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
Okay, so moved.